Welcome to Podadelphia. My name is Dave DiOrio. You can find me on Twitter at @fat_lobster. And I'm joined by a guy who wasn't throwing anything at the players. It was the refs all along. What's up, Nico? How are you tonight?
Dave, you're a savage. That was a savage beginning to this show. Savage.
Listen, nothing takes away the pain of an Eagles loss more than watching the Cowboys get eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh, how delightful was that? A friend of mine texted us. He's like, nothing's better than watching the Cowboys beat themselves.
Well, I have just so everyone knows, you can find the show on Twitter at Podadelphia. And I do have a fun Cowboys related game for us later. Maybe not so much of a game, but just a little fun Cowboys segment. That's going to be a nice palate cleanser at the end of our Eagles talk for today.
Like a sorbet.
Yes,
get you prepared for the next Philly.
That's a raspberry sorbet.
Yeah. Oh, the delightful raspberry sorbet.
And before we get started, Nico, I just wanted to tell you that in preparation of the Eagles playoff game, I had my my children watch for the first time Rocky 3 on Saturday night, so we could watch Rocky 4 on Sunday morning.
See, this is what makes you a good dad.
That's the one thing.
This is the one thing that makes you a good dad. The continuity of introducing the Rocky series in its continuity, in its most live, natural form. Good for you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks.
So thanks. Rocky 3, Clubber Lang, how did they react toward that? Hey boy.
Listen, I don't hate the man, I pity the fool. They loved it. I mean, they loved both of them. They were definitely into it. You know, the thing that I noticed about Rocky movies recently, in contrast to a lot of modern movies, is, Rocky movies, it's like you're in and out, hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
You get the whole thing. You get a story. It's the same formula every time. They really are the king of the montage. It was just great.
The originators of the montage, a pioneer, an early adopter of the sports montage.
And then on Sunday morning, my son had a baseball tryout, and you know what we listened to on the way there?
What did you listen to?
Hearts on Fire.
Oh God! Like Rocky's like lifting that cart in the Russian.
Yeah. Another observation that I made that I shared with
got that beard coming in, that face beard.
Rocky is like CrossFit, and Drago is like Orange Theory. What do you think of that?
I love it. I love it. Very true. Dolph Lundgren, man, what a nice little career he made off of being Drago in Rocky.
Yeah.
He really parlayed that into a lifelong.
Of course. I mean, would he go on from that? Would He-Man?
I think so. But everywhere he goes, it's like Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in the movie. It's Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
Where's he popping up now? So
and Nick Sirianni, to get the players ready for the playoff game, did a whole like Rocky motivational segment or bit, or I don't know what he didn't work.
Yeah, something didn't work there. I know we're going to get into this conversation, but there's so many different thoughts that went through my head watching the game, kind of half watching the game, because I feel like after the first quarter, I was like, all right, I know where this is headed. There was really no kind of like, they've had slow starts before, but this was completely different. It was just flat from the gate. But
I do have to take this one on the chin. He was never in He-Man. He was in Masters of the Universe.
Thank you, Keith, for the knowledge.
He played He-Man, right?
Show some damn respect, Keith says.
That's my favorite part of this comment, is show some damn respect.
Show some respect
to a terrible movie.
Yeah, he listens.
So all right. So let's get into it. You said it was basically over.
I don't want it. No, I don't want it.
You don't want it. You have to. That's why you're here.
Okay.
I hear a lot of things like, oh man, maybe they should have taken the ball. to start the game. Why are you giving Tom Brady the ball to start the game?
Mm.
Or, if Barnett didn't commit that, look, all of it,
Oh, come on.
we'll talk about all of it, but to me, all of it is basically irrelevant because they got beat in every facet of the
Every
game
aspect of
from
this game.
top to bottom. There's
Mhm.
not one single thing that I could point to say, well, at this facet of the game, they held up their end of the bargain. Or, I mean, you could say the defense played okay in like maybe the second quarter to kind of limit the
Uh,
damage a little bit, but I mean, just
you
top to
could.
bottom, an abject failure by the entire coaching staff and team overall.
Out-coach, outplayed. I think the seeds of this loss were planted last week when Sirianni chose to bench the starters. I
Ooh,
know we talked about this. I know we talked about this
you
last week
dropping a
when,
seeds reference on Sirianni, huh?
yeah, I
Did they
did.
water it all
And
week,
that was
fertilize it?
completely unintentional too. I just realized. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I apologize in advance. That was definitely not intentional. But yeah, I definitely think so. I was one of those people that wanted to see the starters play against Dallas, at least for the first half in Philadelphia, prime time, game 17 in the season. And I know everybody was kind of like, "Oh, Hurts and his kind of ankle. Why? The game doesn't mean anything. The game doesn't mean anything." Yes, the game did mean something because they it was kind of their responsibility to carry on that momentum that they had built over the latter part of the season with winning 6 out of 8 straight, whatever that was. Um, to rest all those starters to get our asses kicked by Dallas, 50 points dropped on us. I don't care who dropped it on us, whether it's starters or backups, whatever. They're playing against our backups. But because we lost that momentum, because we had that deflating loss at home, then to go down to Tampa Bay and try to play, a playoff game in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. I mean, that was never going to be any box of chocolates. But to go in there as flat as we did, having not played our starters in like after 2 weeks, I think it was a recipe for disaster. So had we played our starters last week, maybe we win a quote unquote meaningless game against Dallas. I definitely think we bring more momentum down to Tampa Bay and continue playing with that chip on our shoulder. But taking that break, no good, no bueno. I think that's why we lost.
I don't like. I don't want to say you're wrong, but I just don't think it mattered. And like, so Keith jumped in here again. This game is what you get when you let 45% of teams into the playoffs. So yeah, there is an expanded play. Like,
A lot of stinkers yesterday. A lot of stinkers, or on Sunday, excuse me. Yeah.
yeah, the I just feel like the Eagles had really shielded themselves from what football is actually like against professional football teams that are competing for a championship for so long. For so long, like the last 2 months of the season, you really weren't playing any team that
Playoff
had
caliber
any
teams.
reasonable chance of expecting success in any way, shape, or form, that you just kind of forgot what real competitive football was actually like. And boy, did they get dumped into a vat of ice water on Sunday afternoon.
Oh,
And it was like shell shock. Like, what is
which
this?
is why I thought we should have played our starters
It's
against
yeah,
Dallas because that's our only chance to play a playoff caliber team and a really solid litmus test, even if it's just for the first half, dude. You know what I mean? Go ahead and kick our butts in the second half, whatever. We're going to rest our starters and get out of here alive. That's fine. I totally get that rationale. It's a meaningless game. However, you're going against all these sub 500 teams the last few weeks and kicking their rear ends. Like, great. Congratulations. But what are you going to do against a playoff team? How do you know? How do you know where you stack up? That was our chance, and we didn't take that chance, you know? So,
yeah. I mean, it's a good point. It's sort of it was a tough situation because we found out after the game on Sunday that, I don't know if we're in the spin zone or not, but Hertz is now wearing a boot. He may need certain,
yeah,
we don't really know the full story. We'll never know the full story. It could be like a, bruised ego injury or
yeah,
but, had that happened on Sunday,
Yes.
then you'd be, we'd be whistling a different tune. You got to sit these guys. It's a meaningless week. What are we doing?
Of course.
And the funny thing is I wanted Tampa Bay. Like when we talked, a couple of weeks ago, that was the team that I was looking forward, like out of all the teams to play.
I was
it
kind of
seems
thinking
like
it'd be
Arizona
like LA
probably
or,
would have been the best bet.
Arizona.
But it certainly doesn't look like you wanted to play the Rams either. And I thought that Tampa Bay was right for the pick. Now, it'll be very telling next week when we see how Tampa does against a legitimate playoff team.
The Rams, right?
Yeah.
Up
So,
Rams,
we'll see what happens there, because that'll be kind of telling to say, like, okay, well, the Eagles were really not ready for prime time if the Rams blow the doors off of Tampa Bay, which, I'm suspecting will happen. But
I don't know, man. It's definitely disappointing on many levels, and we enter this offseason now with so many questions.
All right, what's your first question?
Well, I don't know. It's the elephant in the room, Do we build around
Hurts the guy, right?
Is Jalen Hurts the guy? I mean, it's so overplayed. It's so overplayed. I'm sure
half
the people listening to this are like, "Oh, come on."
I'm just going to say right now, I'm okay with Sirianni. Like, I'm not like a let's fire Sirianni guy.
No, I don't think he's a one and done coach. I definitely think you got to give the guy a little bit more time to grow.
And this is my problem with the event. Like, how do you evaluate a head coach when you feel like, I don't know that we have evidence of this or not, but I feel like in the back of my mind, there's all of this pressure, tampering, meddling from the GM and owner on what he does as far as decision-making processes. I cannot, it would be malpractice in my mind if Sirianni continued to put Jalen Reagor in high leverage situations week after week after week. So I have to, in my mind, think that he's getting directive or pressure to, make Howie's picks look worthwhile, not absurd like they are, like we all know they are. So it's difficult to evaluate the head coach in a vacuum when I feel like there's meddling going on.
Yes, you have to evaluate the three-headed monster that's coaching this team. I mean,
but two of those heads are not going anywhere ever.
Ever going anywhere, ever. And, nothing against Nick Sirianni. I think, especially across the second half of the season, he kind of really came on and maybe stabilized his presence in the locker room. From what I read, from what I could see him on the sidelines, he kind of seemed like he settled into the role a bit more. But yeah, he's Howie and Jeffrey Lurie's hire. So naturally, they're going to hire a guy that will work alongside them and buy into their philosophies and what they want the team to look like and how they want the team to operate. Clearly Doug wasn't jiving with that. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see what direction that they go.
We're getting a lot of comments here. So Tim saying, and so many picks. Keith jumping in here. Hurts is fine. Nick is fine. The draft means so much.
Mm-hmm.
Tim saying the team was playing with 3/4 of the salary cap, talent not on the field. Sirianni needs another year minimum. Yeah, I mean, these heads are making these draft picks, and they haven't been successful with them in the past, or it's been kind of a mixed bag. It's like round one, they're not taking what the draft is giving them. Let the draft come to you.
Everything seems forced.
Yeah. Let's, you want to get crafty in rounds 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, exactly.
But take the sure thing.
Just
in those
like
first couple of rounds, you can
draft.
you can get a starting player out of that. And that's what, I just don't believe that we're going to walk in on draft day with 3 draft picks. I don't think so either.
Especially with where the draft picks are, because, I think once you do get outside of the top 10, top 12 picks, then that's when people like Howie Roseman start getting cute with their picks and, overthinking and trying to see what they can do. Howie obviously is really big on his draft day trades and swapping picks out, so on and so forth. So I don't know. There's so many different scenarios that could play out here, but the big one on the table that everybody talks about is what's it going to take, if they do decide to move on from Jalen Hurts, what's it going to take to get one of those free agent quarterbacks? Especially, the months old rumor of Russell Wilson. What do you think it would take if
I'm out on that. I'm out on it. I don't care what you're able to give up to get him. I'm out on that.
is there a free agent quarterback out there that you would consider going after?
No, I mean, the Derek Carr conversation is interesting if it's even on the table. But I don't know. I don't know what the options are. If it's Hurts or Russell Wilson, I'm fine sticking with Hurts.
Same. And to be honest with you, I don't know if a guy like Russell Wilson wants to come to Philly and play for a guy like Nick Sirianni and play for an organization like this. I could see Russell Wilson going to a place like Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin and maybe finding some success there. And I think Pittsburgh has the salary cap to be able to make a move like that. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers fits here. I don't think Russell Wilson fits here. I don't know if I want to touch the Deshaun Watson situation at all. I'm fine with building around Jalen Hurts with these picks.
But I also am not convinced that he's the quarterback of the future. It's frustrating, but you may just have to do like how we stumbled into it with the Carson Wentz situation, where it's just like, okay, just keep building. And then, you find that last piece somehow, some way. And maybe it's a draft guy, maybe it's a young guy. Maybe you keep plugging away with QBs in the draft, late in the draft. You try to hit on some like jackpot type situation with the quarterback. You just keep on churning them out in the quarterback factory, every year.
There you go.
Just QB factory, baby.
We're deep right now with Jalen Hurts and Gardner Minshew. Which,
what about the defense?
Ad nauseam a couple
the
weeks
defense
ago.
was kind of weird this year under old Johnny Gans,
who's getting a lot of head coaching buzz. Apparently, I think he's like. I think I read today he's like on his third or fourth interview.
Yeah, I mean, like, are you hoping he gets one of them?
Sure, go for it.
I don't know what he brought to the table this year. There was nothing that I really like.
At night in another city.
There wasn't really much this year that I was like, wow, that was a great advancement on defense that we saw. It was just kind of the same blasé defense in the playoffs.
I saw Ryan Kerrigan. I saw Ryan Kerrigan out there in Tampa Bay for a snap.
Yeah, he made some stuff happen.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's funny though, because if you would have said that, like, oh, they sacked Tom Brady 4 times, I'd have been like, wow, that's
not bad.
Like 4 more,
considering the line that Tom Brady's playing behind. But I know that they were banged up on Sunday. Eagles need some more rush off the edge. I know Brandon Graham's, he's entering his age 34 season next year, something like that. Aside from Josh Sweat,
he's aging better than Fletcher Cox, though.
Yes, I would agree with that. But
I mean, that dude, I don't think I heard his name all year.
Not much. I mean, he's like stopgap up the middle, but I think I heard Hassan Ridgway's name more than I heard Fletcher Cox's name.
Yeah. I mean, the linebacker situation, I mean, Slay was definitely the highlight of the defense this year. But
I do think TJ Edwards came on pretty well. And I do like, I like Alex Singleton. But I definitely think that there's room for improvement.
What are we calling Alex Singleton? Does he have a nickname yet?
I don't know, man. Guy's a savage, though. He's a savage. Maybe it's the hair. Not sure. He's very.
I didn't know if we had like is he like the animal or like what?
Well, yeah, animal. I was saying with a group of friends of mine on a separate text string that we kind of felt like Dallas Goedert would make a really great apostle in a Jesus film. And perhaps Alex Singleton could be one of the apostles as well. We could cast several Eagles into apostles.
Yeah, but we traded Carson Wentz.
Well, there's some other heads in there, that we can get in there a little bit.
Speaking of Carson Wentz, man,
Nick Sirianni's face beard would have made he'd be a great high priest, or maybe somebody in the Sanhedrin. If you really want.
But I don't think you can grow the full beard. Can you do it without being able to grow the actual beard? Will somebody
teach Nick Sirianni to take that beard and just go right under the jaw instead of it being like on your face? Like you can just kind of level it out a little bit. It kind of annoyed me, but maybe I'm the only one who
He's
was
not in
annoyed by
the
Sirianni's facial
pantheon
hair.
of not in the pantheon of greatest Philadelphia athlete facial hair.
Yeah, and we talked about that a
We
couple of weeks
we
ago.
did.
And
We
you know
did.
what? I listened to that conversation again, and I was irked that we had such a paltry list of
Meanwhile,
mustaches.
Kelsey's out there with like a full, like a
Yeah,
lumberjack beard. He's looking at
luxurious
Goddard
beard.
like, what is that on your face?
Yeah, I don't even know. It's carved out. It's strategic scruff. You know what I'm talking about? You're not just
Yeah,
growing in the scruff. You're growing in the scruff, and then you're carving around it real good there, getting
yeah.
sharp
It's
edges,
more
getting
like
your
a
ruler
summer
out.
beard.
Strategic scruff.
Um. All right. I mean, you want to talk about Jalen Reagor dropping a punt?
No, I want to talk about him fighting with Devonta Smith on the sideline.
Yeah. What is that? He's like all pissed off that
Like
he
he's mad.
stinks.
He's like, "What you mad for, bro? You're the one that's dropping the ball. You're the one that's not running crisp routes. Like, what are you mad at? What are you
Here,
mad
Nico.
at?"
This one's for you. Jason Worth
Worth.
has by far the most luscious of locks, facial and scalp.
Scalp. Wow. The triple play.
You got to do the
Locks,
face
facial,
and
and
scalp combo. We haven't really got into like the whole package conversation before.
Yeah. Now listen,
I don't know. Kelsey's up there though.
Kelsey's definitely up there. I think John Kruk has to be in that conversation too, with the luxurious mullet that he grew back in 1993, and he also
Nico,
has
mullets are not
scruff.
luxurious.
Why not? Hey, it's a great adjective to describe a mullet. Majestic. How about majestic? A majestic.
I'll take
mullet.
majestic.
Regal.
Yeah. So why is he mad?
Why is
Reagor
Reagor
mad? What was
I
he
don't know,
blamed?
because
What was he?
everybody's for the rest of his life in Philadelphia, anyhow, he's going to be compared to whatever he does compared to what Justin Jefferson does in Minnesota. I mean, he's a flop, and it stinks, and I think he knows it. And bad pick, bad situation for him. I don't think there's any way out for him to find the success that he needs here to win over the Philadelphia fans. I think that guy's on his way out.
You do kind of feel bad because it's Howie's fault, not his.
Yeah, totally. The same way that, J-Jaw took it on the jaw from Philly fans and media, for being the tremendous disappointment that his playing career has in Philadelphia, because he came out of the same draft as DK Metcalf. DK was taken what, like, I don't know how many selections behind J-Jaw, but there you go.
Right, and these guys have
one.
to they have to stay on the team because they're cap hits to let them go, and you got to try to save face. So they're going to keep getting trotted out there. They're going to keep making these same mistakes because they are who they are. Like, you're not going to lift him up to be the first round pick producer that you want him to be.
Hey, listen, when they picked Jalen Reagor, everyone thought it was a fantastic pick. There's your deep threat. Everyone thought it was a fantastic pick.
The Minnesota Vikings front office thought it was a fantastic pick.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about like immediate reaction. There's your deep threat. There's your speedster on the outside. And, he very quickly showed us that he wasn't capable of.
Oh, I don't sit around scout players all day. I got a full-time job, buddy.
Same. I got a couple of them.
So it's tough. We got to rely on, you got to trust the scouts. You got to say, I'm drafting this guy for a reason.
Yeah, well,
instead of trying to be the goddamn smartest person in the room all the time, why don't you just do the predictable whatever? All right, we talked about that.
I know. Are you crying?
Am I crying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm all out of tears, Nico. I don't have anything left for the birds.
All right, I'll cry. I'll get a good one in there.
So, the Cowboys.
All right. Don't feel like talking about them.
You don't feel like talking about them?
No, I'll talk about them. Sure.
So did you watch the game on Nickelodeon or did you watch it on CBS?
No, I watched it. Well, actually, I didn't really watch a lot of it. I watched the second half.
Yeah.
And I watched it on normal television.
Yeah, all right. Because, you're still miserable because of the Eagles game. You're kind of bouncing.
Yeah, I'm not going to jump right back into it. I need a little time to sulk.
Yeah, to keep my kids engaged, I watched it on Nickelodeon.
Oh, well, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
See, there you are again.
And I will tell you, that broadcast was better than 90% of the 1 o'clock game broadcasts you'll see during the season.
I did see a couple of stills from it. Looked incredible.
I mean, whatever.
They were like slime and coaches, right? And
Well, yeah, they put like all graphics on the field, like slime going in the end zone when someone scored a touch.
Right.
They had the field goal had like a SpongeBob in the middle of the field goal, and when it went through,
Yeah.
went to like a smiley face. It was.
Did your kids enjoy it?
Yeah, I would watch it next year if it wasn't my team playing in it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, how distracting would it be if it was actually your team? Stakes
I
are
would
high.
be kind of annoyed because they did like talk very like they were talking to kids, you know what I mean? Like they were like,
Yeah.
explaining the rules and stuff like that.
So you
but
mean I would have actually understood that football game then?
Yeah, you would have got it.
Okay, cool.
So what I thought we could do, if I can get my computer set up correctly, and this is certainly going to be one for the probably for the viewing audience more so than the podcast. But what I thought we would do is I'll go through and show some of my favorite Cowboys memes and images
Okay.
from the weekend after the game, and maybe you can like kind of describe it maybe for the podcast, and then kind of give me your reaction.
Okay.
Some of them are older jokes that I found like should be included. Some of them were newer images and memes that I thought were funny. So
lay it on me. Let's roll.
Let me see if I get this going. So share my screen if I could do this.
All right. So you want me to
All
dictate what I'm seeing to our listening audience?
Yeah. All right. So here's the first one.
Oh, very. Here we have a bag of Doritos. Dak Prescott's sulking mug. Oh wow, there's Jerry Jones in the background too, and the flavor is Nacho Year.
Yeah,
I
thought that was a good
Nacho
one.
Year. I like that one. I
That
like
was
it.
good. It's very well done. It's there's also a crying Jordan up here in the top.
Oh.
Did you catch it?
No, who's that sulking to the left there with the?
That's Zeke.
That's Zeke.
Yeah,
but I like Jerry Jones and
feed me
the crying Jordan.
Feed me the Doritos. This is the Nacho Year flavor.
Yeah,
all right, and I don't even remember what order I have these in. So let's see.
Did you put these together? You put this together?
Yeah, I put this together. Yeah.
This is excellent.
Here's this one. What do you think of this one?
So we have 4 options here of shapes. We have a pentagon, a hexagon, an octagon, and the last shape, Dallas Star, season gone.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Folks, what's your favorite shape?
For the geometry the fans out there. So they got the season gone.
Well played. Well played.
All right, let's see what's next.
Oh, very nice. We have a gentleman not to be named.
No, yeah, it's Kyle Rittenhouse with
Kyle Rittenhouse
with the famous crying Kyle Rittenhouse with the Cowboys hat and jersey on. The very timely one,
Yeah, that was very timely. So Kyle Rittenhouse, ugly crying with a Dallas jersey and Dallas hat on.
Yeah,
fittingly so, along with all the rest of the Dallas Cowboy fans, who subsequently are also fans of every other team that won a championship in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah. Let's see what's next.
All right. It's whoa, what are those discs even called? I forget what they're even called.
That's a what is that, a 3 1/4 floppy?
3 1/4 floppy?
No, is it 3 1/2? I don't even remember anymore.
And it says, and it's labeled Dallas Super Bowl pictures. Oh,
yeah. My kids have no idea what this is. When I showed it to them, they were like, I have no idea what that is.
I like that. Yeah.
This is also like the companion meme to the VHS cassette tape that says,
yes, of course.
Yeah, Super Bowl highlights.
The one that you stick in the Lamborghini rewinder, the car.
Yes.
You shove it in there so it automatically rewinds your tape. There we go.
All right.
All right. This is good. You got more, right? You have.
I got a couple more. Yeah.
Oh, good.
With this one.
Oh, wow. So it's a fully suited up Dak Prescott looking to the mirror, but the reflection in the mirror is a bag of trash. Well played. A big bag.
That's a classic. Yeah,
that's
always
garbage.
Interchangeable.
Trash.
I knew I would just get you to be able to say trash. So
Oh, you just wanted me to say trash or
Yeah.
garbage?
All right.
I'll say
Keep
trash and garbage. I like this next one. So it's a picture of Tom Brady with a Super Bowl championship T-shirt on. His daughter is holding the Vince Lombardi Trophy, masked, very responsible. And the caption is, Tom Brady's daughter has held the Super Bowl trophy more times than the Cowboys have won playoff games in 20 years. She's 8.
going.
Fantastic.
I
Well
also
played. And
saw some other statistics um uh like how many quarterbacks have won more playoff games than the Cowboys in the last 20 years. And
mhm.
Nick Foles is of course on that list with
Ah,
4 playoff wins as opposed to the Cowboys 3 playoff
the
wins.
venerable Nick Foles.
And yeah, and also the what was the other thing? The Cowboys have made the playoffs 11 consecutive years without making an NFC Championship game. Also, another record, both contingent on your
Yeah.
success to be able to make the playoffs, but also your futileness when you make it into there.
Yeah,
So
when you get there, you don't do anything.
yeah,
Yep.
I mean we got a couple more. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Here we go. So it's a gentleman wearing a sombrero. He's looking fantastic. Has a
Yeah,
luxurious mustache.
I
And
also find it hilarious. This is Mexican word of the day instead of like
yeah,
Spanish word of the day. But
yeah,
okay,
Mexican word of the day. I think that's questionable material there, but in any event, Mexican word of the day is Dallas. That is Dallas game the Cowboys are going to play this year. Dallas
there you go.
game
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Cowboys are going to play this
yeah.
year. Excellent.
Yeah. All right. What else we
That's
got? Anything else?
yeah.
Oh, this one was one of my favorites.
All right. You know what? I'm having trouble seeing who's at the top there.
So, all right,
Looks like
it's the Impractical Jokers group.
okay.
Maybe I could zoom in
Uh,
a little bit here.
Oh yeah, there we go. There. Okay. Now Dak run the ball up the middle of the field with 14 seconds left and no timeouts. So it looks like they're calling the play. Oh,
Right.
there's the ref setting the ball. Yep. And now they're all that.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that's the
See, there you
format of the
go.
show, right? They like tell them what to do and they
Yep.
do it.
Yep.
So,
I
yeah.
see where you went there. I
Yeah.
see where you
Yeah.
went there.
Do I have any more? Let's see. Yep. One more.
All right. Who are those 3?
Okay.
Let
So
me
you're
see.
not a Succession fan?
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, dude. It's not that I'm not a fan. It's just I haven't.
Okay. Well, this is an
So you go
iconic
ahead.
image from season 3 of Succession, and
Okay.
it's the Roy children in sort of a state of despair with full Cowboys regalia on, and I
Okay.
think that's my. Oh no, I got one more. Oh, we just had to show the sad.
Oh, that couple in the top left-hand corner is the best. They are the best. That's a meme. That can translate. That could go for the next 5 years,
Yeah.
and just kind of like re-meme it.
Oh yeah, I do got another one here. Oh wait, what did I do? There we go.
You've got quite a collection here.
Yep.
Oh, excellent. Dave, well done. Well done. Oh, wait, what's this last one? Why don't you go ahead and you can take
Yeah,
this
so this
last
is
one.
the shooting
Bring us
meme.
home.
So it's and both the shooter and the victim are both labeled the Cowboys. So the Cowboys are killing themselves,
Killing themselves.
and then
Yeah.
but the refs are blaming the refs at the end of the game.
I gotta hats off to you, my man.
Thanks.
You do it, and you are able to come up with all of this creativity with a full-time job, being dad of the
I didn't. I
year.
will say I didn't make these memes. I did just source them.
Oh, here I am
Yeah.
sitting here thinking that
No,
you created
no.
these memes. You
These are just
should have
the ones that I found
you should have
on
held
my.
on to that a little bit longer. I would have. I had you
Well, I don't want
up
to be
on
like
a
Gene on the
pedestal.
last episode where he gives us a bunch of information about micro brews, and then after the show ends, goes, "Yeah, I made all those up." I was like,
Oh,
"Well, you
he
should have
made those
dropped
up.
that joke." Yeah, he made those all up.
Ah,
I was like, "Well, you should have dropped the joke on the show, so we knew."
poor Gene. Him and that fan, that oscillating fan from the vet he's got in the background of his.
Oh man. All
Good
right.
old
So what
James.
else around the league? So what did you like what were your takeaways from the weekend? Like what are your like do you think you have like a Super Bowl prediction out of this? What are you looking forward to the rest of
I
the way?
am really, really, and like a lot of people too, there's always a soft spot in my heart for Andy Reid, and I want to see Andy Reid find continued success in the playoffs. But I really, really am pulling for the Buffalo Bills to continue that journey, man. I think that'd be an incredible thing for that team, for the organization, for that fan base, which is a rabid fan base. So I'm kind of,
Yeah.
sentimentally
The Bills
pulling for the
Mafia?
Buffalo Bills. Yeah.
You gonna join the Bills
I'm not in the
Mafia this
Bills
next week?
Mafia. I've got I have a coworker and friend that is a part of the Bills Mafia. He's very passionate about it, and I respect it, and I enjoy hearing his take on things. But yeah, just for that fan base and for that city, I think it'd be an incredible thing for them to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean that's the game that I am circling on the calendar to like make sure I watch from beginning to
Yeah,
end next weekend is that Bills Chiefs game. That's
the
definitely the
Bills Chiefs
marquee
game is
game.
going to be it's
Yeah.
going to be huge, and I think they made it at the last game too. I think they're Sunday night, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm also excited to watch the Bengals.
yeah, absolutely. Bengals Titans, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the Bengals have a shot to win that game.
Yeah. You imagine I mean, I think that'd be incredible if the Bengals win and the Bills win, Bengals at Buffalo for AFC Championship. I mean, wow. Talk about two franchises that haven't been there in a long time. So,
Yeah.
it'd
Yeah.
be really cool to see that. So we'll see what happens.
AFC, the NFC is a little less. I'm a little less enthusiastic for those games. I feel
Yeah,
like the
I think it's
Niners
Bucks.
Green
Yeah,
Bay game is going to be kind of well. I mean, you never
yeah,
know, but yeah, you got to think Green Bay is gonna be able to take that one pretty easily. I
yeah,
will say the Rams Bucks game is I have interest in that,
yeah, yeah,
but I don't know. So
yeah.
yeah,
We'll
I think
see.
a
We'll see.
Bills Packers,
Bills Bucks. That's what I
Bills
was thinking because
Bucks.
if you get a good team like the Bills to make it to the Super Bowl, there's got to be the Darth Vader of the NFC, Tom Brady. They got to get through Tom Brady to get their championship, kind of like the way that the Eagles had to. But I think it's Bills Bucks from what I saw this past weekend.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens.
Watching any Sixers?
No, you no. No, obviously I was following the Sixers very closely, especially during Joel Embiid's streak of 30 plus games.
Yeah.
Who couldn't? But am I watching the Sixers? Yeah, kind of. Am I watching the Sixers rumors or Googling Sixers rumors? Like, every 20 to 30 minutes throughout a workday? Maybe I am,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not.
Ben Simmons
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, a little bit, little bit. What do you think if there's anything's gonna happen there?
To be honest, I think it's just going to go the whole season.
Yeah, which
I
is a
think it's going
shame
to be
because
an
you're
off
wasting a whole
season.
season of Joel Embiid's health.
It's I if you feel like you can get more in the off season than you can now, fine. But that's as far as it's got to go. I mean, it can't.
I just really would hate to see them punt a full season of Joel Embiid in his prime.
But it's already punted. I mean, what are you going to get now that's going to push you to be a championship contender?
Yeah.
Like right now, what is a legitimate?
I don't think there is a legitimate option, or I don't know what they can do. I mean, there were actually a couple of rumors with or trade simulations, if you want to call them, whatever the heck you want to call them. There was one with the Celtics that I kind of liked for a second, sending Simmons to the Celtics.
Yeah,
But
for Jaylen Brown.
yeah, for Jaylen Brown, yeah. Um, yeah, there's no scenario out there that really makes me feel good about anything in this situation at all. So I think it's unfortunate to again waste the season of Joel Embiid healthy and in his prime. But if waiting this thing out, and here's Tim with a comment here. I kind of want to see Simmons retire as a Sixer with no more games played. We'll talk to Rick Paul about that one and see how he feels. Um, but Rich Paul, excuse me. Sorry, what did I call him? Rick. Um, but yeah, there's nothing really out there that's very enticing at all, unless you get that third team on it and send Simmons to the Kings and send,
Yeah, it's kind of a tough.
Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox somewhere, and we can grab. Oh, here's one. Here's one. How about this?
Go ahead.
So we send Ben Simmons and a couple of ones to the Kings, right?
Okay.
Where are you looking at me like that?
I'm getting ready for you to say something that I disagree with.
All right, so here it comes.
Preparing myself for it. When
Simmons
you said
and
a couple of ones, I kind of got like, okay, what?
Yeah, lightly protected, kind of mildly protected,
Okay.
whatever you want to call them.
Ben Simmons
And
and a couple of ones.
Okay. Simmons and all right, so Simmons and a one. Simmons shaking a one to the Kings.
Okay, for who?
The Kings send De'Aaron Fox and Halliburton to the Celtics, and we get Tatum. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I would do it. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Tatum and Embiid, they could do some damage with Maxey.
Good talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're not watching the Flyers.
Not right now.
I'm not watching the Flyers lose 8 straight. I have no interest in that.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation for sure.
So I'm kind of just spinning my wheels. We got Union kicking off next month.
Yeah. Major League Baseball is still
it's tough. It's tough time right now.
This is a tough time.
Eagles eliminated.
Do you want to talk about something other than sports? Do you want to is there anything else? Oh, I don't know. I'm just I'm throwing it out there to you. These are hard times. Lean times for Philadelphia sports.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like that's a wrap for us tonight. What do you think?
It does sound like this. You know what? Hey, listen. We've gotten it off our chest. I feel a lot better. It's a very cathartic episode.
Listen, the show goes as long as the show goes.
Okay.
Unless it goes longer than an hour and then it stops.
Oh, okay. Then it's a hard stop.
Yeah, I feel like, you and I, we could talk more about Rocky for the next 18 minutes.
Hey, listen, I've never shied away from a Rocky conversation, and you know that. I would never shy away, but for the sake of a viewing audience, I don't want to subject them to that.
All right. Well, that is all the time we have for today. We'll be back next Tuesday. Will you be back next Tuesday?
I can come back if you'd like.
All right. Well, you're going to be back next Tuesday. Maybe Gene will be back from his thespianistic activities.
Oh, is that where he was tonight? He was.
Yeah, he's doing his stage thing.
Richard III, starring Gene.
Did you watch The Tragedy of Macbeth yet on Apple?
Oh, don't say it! Don't say it!
Oh no! Do I have to spin around 5 times or something?
The Scottish play. Don't say it.
Well,
yeah,
check it out.
You got to spit and curse and spin around a few times. Yeah.
All right, we're adults now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well,
all right, so we'll be back next Tuesday at 9:15.
Yes.
If you haven't done so already, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search Podadelphia. If you have any more time in your podcast listening day, be sure to check out the Whip Around for all the week's weird news. And also check out the Painted Lines on YouTube for your wall-to-wall Philly sports coverage. Until next week, have a great day at work, everybody. We are out of here.